morning, everyone. Welcome. Just begin with a small Buddhist chant to welcome us into the moment. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. That's paying homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So welcome to our retreat session today, the last retreat session for the year, certainly here at Ratnagiri, which means that we have nearly concluded this year, 2025. It's nearly over. Less than a month to go before we enter into the new year, 2026. So hopefully meditation has been something significant to us this year, something which we've carried on and engaged, enabled, maybe even enhanced as well through the year. And this particular retreat session, I wanted to emphasize the importance of our meditation practice, particularly at this time, the end of the year, because the end of the year can be a little bit challenging with routines that we have, given that often there's extra things happening on the weekends. Even just example with our session today, usually we have maybe twice the numbers because people have the time. But end of the year, there's lots of various engagements, family, friends, things to catch up with, so that life gets busy. Sense of things can get a bit even stressful for people, and then often our routines, our practices, the things that are important for us get less attention, get put aside. So today, really emphasizing the importance of maintaining our meditation practice, and thus I've made the theme of our practice today motivation for meditation, inspiration for samadhi. So particularly as things get a little bit more busier over the period ending of the year into the new year, we maintain our meditation because we feel inspired and motivated to do so, as a support for ourselves and certainly as a support for others. And in this, it's not just okay, yes, we meditate to reduce stress, have a clear mind, and feel good. That's fine, but the main reason that hopefully we're meditating is the reason the Buddha recommended meditation, even beyond recommending, advocated and sort of said this is something which you need to do for the purpose of enlightenment, for enlightening the mind, for waking up, for realizing truth, for freedom. This is the way to freedom. On reflection, certainly, I find it really helpful to remember what the Buddha was doing before he became fully enlightened, when he was still Siddhartha Gautama, an unenlightened person, and various practices that he was doing, but realizing that those practices weren't really enabling his mind to become free. And so he realized that sure, there's many things that people do that might even consider them as spiritual practices, but they don't necessarily free the mind. So the Buddha was not doing lots of chanting. He was not doing lots of yoga. He was not doing lots of philosophical reflections. He was not doing lots of bowing. He was doing lots of meditation, and realized that's the way to enlightenment. That's the way to freedom. In fact, he was doing various ascetic practices, but realized that these don't work. These don't work. Fasting and various sort of yogic practices and so forth. These don't work. They maybe do something, but not enough to clear and calm and clarify the mind, because full freedom, enlightenment, it's about the mind, not how flexible we are, not how well we can chant or bow, or how we can engage in philosophical debates. It's about freedom of the mind. And so the way to enable the mind to be free, the Buddha realized, was with meditation. And if you're aware of the story, he was considering, what really is the way to enlightenment, to liberation of mind. Then he had a remembrance of sitting under a rose apple tree when he was a young boy, watching his father, the king, performing a first season ploughing ceremony with people, tilling the soil as a sort of a blessing. And his mind, when it was uplifted, had a sense of joy, and he went into a deep, deep, peaceful state and was there for hours until the servants came and got him. And he remembered that deep, peaceful state that was associated with bliss and joy wasn't about a sense desire experience, because he was told that sense desire is bad, um, pleasant experiences aren't good, anything that's pleasurable is a problem. But he realized this calm, clarity, peace, pleasure of mind is actually a good thing. And it was a result of deep, deep meditation. And so, as I mentioned in the quote in the notes, where he says, I considered, could jhana, deep meditation, be the path to enlightenment? Then came the realization that is the path to enlightenment. So the Buddha realized that's the way. That is the way. And also that later on realizing that jhana is called the pleasure of renunciation, the pleasure of seclusion, the pleasure of peace, the pleasure of enlightenment. I say of this kind of pleasure that it should be pursued, that it should be developed, that it should be cultivated, that it should not be feared. And so the Buddha, having calmed and cleared his mind, purified the mind with deep, penetrating um, absorption meditation, Samadhi jhana, was able to then see things clearly and have full final realization of enlightenment, freedom, particularly through reflecting through the 12-point dependent origination, developing great, profound wisdom and insight. And so then spent the next 45 years teaching, telling people to go and meditate, whether they were monks, nuns, lay people. He'd say, he wouldn't say, go and do the chanting, go and do the bowing, go and do the philosophical reflections, go and do the yoga. He'd say, go and meditate, go and meditate. There are these forests, there are these, the shade of a tree, there are these spaces, these caves, there's empty huts. So go and find a place to practice your meditation. That became the practice. So whilst certainly the Buddha's teachings can involve other things as well, but the foundation is meditation practice. And meditation is supported by practicing and living in a wholesome moral way. So we have the foundation of morality, the Buddhist word sila, which then helps to have a sense of well-being, a sense of being at ease with oneself, the mind free from guilt and shame and confusion, because one's living in a wholesome, healthy way. The mind can settle down and have some good meditation, which also then lends some clarity to see things more clearly for the development of wisdom. And the Buddha even pointed out that there's no progress in meditation without the use of wisdom. There's no progress in wisdom without the use of meditation. So both are really, really important. Hence, the practice trinity becomes sila, samadhi, panya, morality, meditation, and wisdom. But particularly the morality and the wisdom help to support the mind, increasing its clarification, purification, realization through meditation. So certainly today is an opportunity to yes, understand this, appreciate this, be inspired by this, but also to practice some meditation, so that we have certainly up until 12:30 to do so. So we'll have various periods of some sitting meditation, some walking meditation, some sitting meditation, some walking meditation, time for further reflection, discussion, questions, and finishing around about 12:30. And those that can stay, share a bit of lunch together, probably finishing about 1-ish, 1:30. So a meditative morning that's nourishing for our being. But certainly to appreciate that importance of meditation for ourselves and to maintain our practice of meditation, particularly through this busy period of time. Ideally, and I say to people, when your life gets busy, you want to be actually meditating more because you need more of a calm, clear, stable mind to deal with the busyness, to deal with the stresses that are likely to occur. And it's wisdom that helps to understand this. As wisdom supports meditation, meditation supports wisdom, which is exactly what the Buddha said on the notes where he said, Nati janang apanyasa panyanati ajayato yam hi janang chapanya cha save nibbana santike. There is no jhana, so deep meditation, without wisdom. There is no wisdom without jhana. But for one who, with both jhana and wisdom, they are in the presence of nibbana. So the more we're engaging both, and both wisdom and meditation support each other, we're moving closer to that possibility of enlightenment, nibbana or nirvana. And certainly along those lines, the Buddha, in the last hours of his life, before he finally died, was advocating and inspiring people to practice, to keep practicing. He could have, in the last sort of hours of his life, sort of spoken about something wonderful. Isn't Nibbana blissful and wonderful and so forth? And I've had a great life and so forth. But he was pointing out what the practice was, continuing to motivate and inspire people towards continuing with the practice, even where his last words, Handadani bhikkhave amantayani vo vayadhamma sankara apamadena sambadedati. Behold, O monks, this is my last advice to you. All things are not lasting. Work out your own salvation with earnestness. That's what he said. So sort of motivating us to keep up the practice. And the practice is that of meditation. You can even see the chart which has the Eightfold Path there. All factors lead to Samadhi, right concentration. Everything's there to support right concentration. So from right view to right speech to right action to right livelihood to right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration, they all sort of flow through to support the mind being able to become calm and still and quiet and peaceful, becoming perfected. The Buddha even said that the most wholesome, skillful thing a human being can do is to purify and clarify their mind through meditation. And it's good that we're all here to appreciate that. It's like, wow, yes, we have this opportunity. These bodies that we have get old and age and become less workable, less wonderful. At times they even become woeful. But meditation is what can transform the mind from a blight to a blessing. So the mind can be transformed from being sort of unsettled and distracted and distorted into something that's so it's woeful, but training it to become workable and then training it to even become wonderful. So that all of us are getting older. Another year ends, another year older, but the mind can become increasingly more calm and clarified and perfected towards enlightenment. The Buddha said that we are the unfinished creature. Human beings, the unfinished creature. So we have these bodies, these even adult bodies, but there's still more working and developing that can occur, which is more of the mind heart, cultivating the mind heart. So it's ongoing, but it can be what gives meaning and joy to our life. Now, I think it's unfortunate that people get caught up, maybe even attracted, distracted into having things that give them meaning in life that are superficial, that at the end of their life they go, okay, well, sure, the meaning of my life was playing more golf, or the meaning of my life was going on a holiday, or getting a new car, or whatever. Fine, but what about the meaning of my life is enlightenment through meditation? So we can have all the worldly things that give life a degree of meaning and satisfaction, but the ultimate satisfaction is the enlightened mind. That becomes our focus. That's what we're doing. That's going to be what we're here for. The Buddha even said, Sankara parama dukkha, nibbanang paramang sukhang. So the world, things of the world are greatly parama, like the word paramount, greatly unsatisfactory or disappointing. Nibbanang paramang sukhang. So nibbana or enlightenment is the greatest satisfaction. Hence, working out our salvation, liberation with earnestness. So that again, ending of the year, be inspired, be motivated, keep up the meditation, develop the meditation, so that we can carry that on through what's often called the Sati season. Plus, it can be the Sati season, the mindful season, mindfulness, the spiritual season into the new year. So we'll begin the new year in the right frame of mind for engagement, the new year 2026, in whatever that might hold for us. But for the most part today, to make use of this day, it's a beautiful day outside, so good for some walking meditation. A little bit humid, it may rain later on, so we've got the air conditioning on. Fortunately, we've got some solar panels on the roof that helps to keep the cost of electricity down. So it's nice to meditate inside. If you want to sit longer than our usual 30-minute sessions, feel free to do so. And then stretch your legs, have a bit of walking, and then come back in for the next sitting session. And also, if you want to take any notes, do so. Anything that inspires you, or even just you have some little insights, write them down. Make the day meaningful for you. But certainly, these weekends leading up to the end of the year become quite precious. So I really appreciate you being able to be here, sharing yourself, sharing your presence, sharing your experience, motivating each other by just by being here. Also, welcome to those that are connecting online, a few people online as well. So in different places, be able to share our experience and make it a special experience this day for meditation. Before we settle into some sitting, any questions or comments? No? Certainly we'll have a bit of time later on for any questions or comments, or even lending your own sort of inspiration, why you are inspired to meditation. How has it been inspirational for you in looking after yourself and looking after your life and others, and developing deep peace of mind? How has meditation been instrumental in that? Loretta?
Thanks, John. How do you speak to or talk to people whose basic needs are not met, like housing or food or shelter and so forth, so on? It's difficult to say to them, just meditate.
Of course.
They will say, oh, I can't meditate, I'm at risk of homelessness, I don't have enough food for the groceries, and how do you speak to them?
Yeah, well, challenging when those basic needs are not fulfilled or fulfilled enough. But they maybe don't stop the person having the opportunity for meditation. What might stop them is is the worry and stress and fear, but the meditation will help move the mind beyond, even if it's just for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Put that aside, just sit down. Um, you're alive, you can breathe, you can be aware of an in-breath and out-breath to gain some mindfulness, some peace of mind, despite what's going on externally. Because same thing can be said from people who say, well, I've got my 3 cars and my 2 powerboats and my 4 houses and my 16 grandchildren. There's so much stress, I can't meditate. So someone with too much, well, they can still meditate. It's like, we'll just bracket all of that, take time, and maybe whether someone is in a state of less than or more than, then meditation and a calm, clear mind will help them to be more at peace with the situation, find some understanding and how things can maybe change. So that, and certainly even for myself, I've had some really, really wonderful meditations when I basically had nothing, no home. So I was a mendicant Buddhist monk, no home, even living out in the forest. The times when the abbot, the monastery said, okay, for the next few months, you're not going to be in the huts, get out, make a bit of a space in the forest, put down some dry leaves, a bed of dry leaves. That's where you're going to be. And and just relying on the meal a day, which was always uncertain. Will there be enough food today? And um, practicing meditation, so that finding that the real what's really essential is a calm, clear mind, and um, whether the stress comes from worrying about stuff that we don't have, worrying about stuff that we do have, then it's like, okay, no, it's to focus on the mind. And the good karma of meditation can help people to see things clearly and modify their life, so it becomes a bit more aligned with what they need for well-being. Working with what is. Brendan?
Yeah, John, am I right that the Buddha said something along the lines of practice as if your life depended on it, like, with that sense of urgency, or was somebody else maybe?
Probably both.
Maybe both. Yeah. Well, I was just thinking that, if a doctor told you that you needed to meditate 20 minutes a day, otherwise you would die, you would make the time. You would find the time.
You do 40 minutes.
You do as much as you have to. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I was just thinking on those lines of, like, people make excuses and they think these other things are more important. But if you realized the importance of the meditation and the benefit of it, and what you, like you said, good karma, the things that you can get out of it, yeah, that's the thing. I think the realization is not there of, like, how positive it can be if I just make that time. People, you can get up 30 minutes earlier. It's not that hard.
Sure.
But people don't see the importance of it. Yeah.
And sometimes even if people in difficult situations, sure, that can be a real problem, but meditation and a calm, clear mind can be the real refuge. They might go, well, things externally are horrible and I can't see how they're going to change, but at least I can do something with my mind and find some inner peace. People that have been in concentration camps and in prisons and so forth, and or in war-torn places, like, okay, well, that's going on out there. At least I can look after my mind and find some inner peace, which can help then gain some clarity to deal with external situations better, even if it's about not reacting, not getting distressed by it. And that goes for all of us.
Question.
Sure.
Is there any research that supports meditation in group is more beneficial than individual, or are there better outcomes, or is it qualitative, quantitative?
There probably is, but I think it comes down to the individual, and even where one's adding one's practice as well, because generally beginners may find it difficult maintain a practice or to be motivated to it alone. But if they have a group to sit with, then there's a motivation, degree of peer group pressure. Everyone's sitting down for 20, 30 minutes. So keep sitting. Really, if one's doing it at one's home, then it might be, oh, I feel unsettled. I'm going to get up now. Or I feel a bit tired. I won't get up for meditation early. But in a group, there's more energy, more inspiration to stay with it, and even to stay focused, and even energetically, the sense of group feel, group energy for maintaining the practice. So I think it's always good to be able to meditate in a group, but also to not be reliant on the group, so that one can practice meditation oneself individually at home. And certainly, if you're doing it yourself, then you can also control the time a bit more, so that you might want to sit longer, what the group sits, or sit at a different time, certainly. So good to have both, which is what we do here. So we've got regular Thursday night sessions and monthly Sunday sessions as a group, and then hopefully everyone does some meditation at home at a time that suits. Well, let's settle in with a meditation. If you need to stretch for a minute, because we've been sitting for half an hour or so. So establishing our comfortable sitting position, aligning our body with some degree of symmetry, balance, poise, helping to enable an inner mindful presence. Our eyes gently closed, helping to bring awareness within. And having our initial deep, relaxing, letting go breath. A nice deep breath sends a signal to our brain to release endorphins to soothe the muscles, tendons, tissue of our body. And the outgoing breath is also a psychological symbol of letting go. So breathing out, letting go of issues, worries, concerns, moving the mind away from roles that come with responsibilities, obligations, duty, stress, and thinking. So meditation is a thought-free zone, time to take a break from thinking, thoughts about what has been, thoughts about what might be, and using that mind energy for focusing attention, developing collectedness and concentration of mind, Samadhi, helping to free the mind from the 5 hindrances. There's 5 mental hindrances: thoughts of sense desire, thoughts of aversion, ill will, mental dullness, mental agitation, and also doubt. Allowing the mind to become calm and collected, particularly enabling the elements that lead to the first deep concentration, jhana, absorption meditation, vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata, being initial application of the mind onto the meditation object, sustained application of mind, the arising of joy, well-being, and developing focused, collected attention. So settling into the present moment, inspired for meditation. Before we bring awareness to the breath, just sensing the body sitting, making sure we have a degree of balance and poise. Awareness of the placement of our feet, connecting with the floor. Body connecting with the chair, cushion, meditation stool. Awareness of the placement of our hands and fingers. Sensation of hands and fingers. Relaxing the shoulders, chest area, the abdomen, the belly area. Relaxing those areas without disturbing the uprightness of our back. Feeling the gentle movement of these areas as the body breathes, the gentle rising up with the in-breath, relaxing down with the out-breath. Feeling that gentle movement. Noticing also our face, maybe feeling the air connecting with our face. Awareness of light coming in through the closed eyelids. Not being distracted by background sounds. Not getting caught into the internal mental sight or sounds of thoughts, but rather choosing to bring attention to the sensation of our breath. Maybe at the nose nostril area, directing attention, sustaining attention to feel the natural inflow, outflow of each breath, exerting right effort, collecting mind energy, focusing on feeling each breath, allowing the mind to settle into this calm composure, a sense of ease and joy. Each mindful breath, aligning mind and body in the present. Or we can do some walking meditation if you wish. If you wish to keep sitting, do so. 30 minutes of walking and meet back here for 11 o'clock. I'll ring the big bell to notice to come back in again. Settling back down into our sitting meditation. Following on from the walking meditation. Allowing the mind to settle into this calm composure, clarity of awareness, feeling into the sitting posture, feeling that settled energy, alignment, mind and body, and taking up our breath as our object of meditation, focusing on the inflow, outflow sensation of each breath, mindfulness of breathing, anapanasati, helping the mind to settle into some khanika samadhi, momentary concentration, upachara samadhi, access concentration, and appana samadhi, full concentration, full collectedness, composure in the present moment, fully aligned, present, enabling inner peace and presence. So feel free to keep sitting, but we can otherwise have another 30 minutes of walking meditation and come back here for 12 o'clock, 12 noon, and then we'll have some further questions, discussion before finishing. So feel free to connect into some more walking if you wish. Oh, how are we feeling now? Relaxed?
Very calm.
Calm?
I find it very difficult. Today I found it really difficult to settle.
Mm.
Eventually I started focusing on physical stuff, taking to try and distract my mind.
Yep.
And once I started to just focus on the physical, the touch and the wind and the warmth and the sound, I settled.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Yeah, well, the body is a really sort of good foundation for settling the mind, which is why beginning the meditation is good to just breathing out, letting go, and then just checking in on the body, feet connecting with the floor, body against the chair cushion, hands, face, light, sounds, thoughts, and then the breath, or even just staying with the quality of the sensation of the touch. Yeah. And the main thing is that we're mindful. So it doesn't matter that the mind isn't so settled, but as long as we're mindful of the unsettled mind.
Yes.
So we've done 2 hours of meditation straight. So sitting, walking, sitting, walking. That's good. Block of 2 hours. Something which, unless you're on a retreat or really reserve that time at home, we often don't give ourselves 2 hours of meditation. Even if we're practicing meditation every day, it might be generally less than 2 hours. But to have 2 hours, that's special. That's a real gift to ourselves, to our mind-body complex. Gift to humanity, that there are human beings that can take 2 hours on a Sunday and just be, breathe, know, rather than being caught up in the doings. So in the topic of motivation to meditation, inspiration for Samadhi, any particular questions or comments around that? Appreciating that possibility.
I have a question about something else.
Okay.
When I'm walking, sitting, meditating, I see how much energy it goes into having a personality. And then I'm sitting down and I'm seeing this word anatta, non-personal, no static self. And I get really puzzled by that.
Well, yes, that's a good insight. How much energy goes into creating this sense of not just personality, but persona, sense of identity or self. It's very, very consuming. And sometimes, especially if we're propping up, holding up, energizing and interfacing this sense of self that we've created, that even other people expect us to have. It's tiring, which is why it can be really great just to sort of take a break, and meditation doesn't require any self, just mindful awareness. But in terms of relating, interfacing with others in the world, a sense of self is generally required. So the sense of self as a relational tool, but as the Buddha pointed out, this self is not anything that's static, stable, or enduring. It's a construct. It's a process. It's a sort of the mental habit of identification, identifying with certain things, as certain things, through certain things. So it's something which is maintained but not constant, particularly meditation. Also, unless one's having thoughts about, oh, what am I having for lunch? And what am I doing later on today? And what's happening tomorrow? And even though they're just thoughts, but they're engaging and creating a sense of self into the future. But meditation, also deep sleep, also if the brain mind is in a state of flow, no self, just the flow happening, which also can be in the moments of extreme sports or situations where you cannot think. If you think you're going to die, because you need to, body's just holding on, responding to the situation, which is why it can be incredibly blissful, because the mind's not thinking past, future, selfing. It's just total mindful presence in the moment. And also if the brain mind is in unconsciousness through to surgical procedure, no self, which shows that the self isn't a constant and doesn't always need to be engaged upon. And that's one of the powerful insights of meditation, particularly Samadhi, jhana meditation, because there's no thought happening, and therefore there's the understanding, certainly after the fact, that the self is just a construct that comes from thinking. We could even say that a meditator's sense of self often gets modified because of the practice of meditation. So less maybe needy, and less sort of demanding, and less caught up in things. A sense of just seeing it as just a helpful tool to use in interpersonal relationships. Any other thoughts, questions, comments? Paul?
May I describe some experiences I've had in meditation? I'm just curious to see what they mean, or what the mechanism is, or how they signpost, or are they common? I went to meditate with Goenka, several back-to-back retreats in 1980, and I meditated as if my life depended upon it, because I just given up my career in physics.
Yep.
Deep in concentration, I would kind of eyes closed, and you feel like you're looking downwards a bit. My body would become covered, very visual, very full of color, which I don't normally see. Become covered in sort of scales, and if I was very peaceful, it would be very jewel-like and diamond and emerald. If I got it at all agitated, just thinking, it would turn into claws and spiky things, and then if I could, and I'd heat up, and if I could calm down, it would just immediately go back to this beautiful armor of dressing of scales. What's the mechanism for that? What does it mean?
Do you need to make something of it? Does it need to mean anything?
Okay.
Because that could be it. It is what it is. We can give it lots of meaning, or we can say, well, it was just a mental phenomena arising in the course of the meditation. Doesn't mean anything in particular. Or we can go, wow, this is really significant. This you must have been connecting with some sort of deity, or maybe there was some sort of myth coming through, or it was a past life experience, or it was symbolic of something or other. But certainly what it was, and it's particularly in the context of Vipassana meditation through Goenka, it's just a mental phenomena that's coming up. And the main thing is not to make too much of it, to know that it's impermanent, doesn't last. It's unsatisfactory because it doesn't last, and it's not the self. It's not a permanent self. But to add to that, I'd say that particularly in meditation, and as the mind becomes more collected and concentrated, then the brain mind can try and create meaning and even give a symbolic representation to what's happening, which might be a certain feeling, sensation, and that's when the brain mind will add on to it with some type of visualization, which can be called a nimitta. Nimitta means a sign, and particularly in meditation, samadhi, concentration, a nimitta can arise, which is a sign of the mind being collected and focused, and a sign of a light, an orb, a radiance. But if there's a particular sensation, the brain mind can bring up some type of imagery that can relate to that sensation. It's a bit like if you're sleeping and you're just about to fall asleep, you feel like you might even have a premonition of, or a feeling of that you're falling, because the brain mind is interpreting an experience and giving it some type of visual meaning to it.
It was striking because it really illustrated what happens when the mind gets even the slightest bit agitated. The second experience was in the scanning process, concentrated. My body, well, it would be there, it would be concentrated and peaceful. But if a twig or a nut dropped on the roof, my body would break into extended vibration, just vibration, nothing else. One time I was sitting I would sit for a long time down a hill, and so much pain in my knees, and then something happened like that. My body went in vibration, and all the density went away, all the pain. When it finally stopped after a few minutes, there was no pain. I could just sit for another pain.
Yeah. And again, these are experiences that can happen when you're doing a lot of meditation. And also the brain is trying to adjust to a new sort of type of awareness, and so that it can over-interpret or overemphasize certain things. So the example that probably most of us have had, where you're sitting meditation, you might be leaning forward just slightly, but in the meditation with your eyes, because it feels like you're 45 degrees forward, you might be back slightly, and the brain interprets that as a sort of really, really leaning back. It's exaggerating a sensation because it's still trying to adjust to a more refined state of awareness.
Okay, now the third one was 10 years earlier. But every time I put my head down, particularly, but sometimes anyway, a light would come, like a big full moon in my head. It was very nice, it was pleasant. I would like to sustain it. I don't know, that's probably common, but I'm
when you put your head down.
No, well, when I would close my eyes to rest.
Yeah.
In the darkness of my closed eyes, there would almost immediately come a full moon, like the size of the clock.
And that was when you were on a meditation retreat?
No, it wasn't. It was before I had done that.
Right.
But it was a time when I felt somehow interiorly connected with the type of thing you learn in meditation.
Yeah.
And that time, from being a very fearful person, I had become unfearful, really, of anything. It was like whatever had happened in my life was perfect because it brought me to this place.
Yeah. So again, one can interpret that in different ways, but it certainly sounds like a neurological phenomena, so brain phenomena manifesting as mind, and particularly if it was something that was calming, soothing, encouraging, then shows a positive state. And particularly if you are relaxing. And sometimes, again, when we close our eyes, there's like a residue image that we can see that's maybe from something that we had seen, or that's might even be sort of even there, or something that's happened during the day. So it's a memory, but it comes up as a residue image. So again, the way in which the brain mind can sort of operate and hold these images. So again, there's neurological explanations, there's spiritual explanations. It's a matter of just noticing, okay, well, it's just another phenomena, a sankhara arising, passing, to be noticed, to be known, and not to sort of identify with it. Any other questions, Susan?
Just wanted to thank you for the entire year and all the beautiful retreats and the Thursday meditations. It is so meaningful for me, and I wanted to say I have practiced different types of Buddhism through my lifetime. And to arrive at Theravada Buddhism, it feels like a sort of a homecoming. It feels like what really works for me is the simplicity to just arrive at what I experience as the source of wisdom, to just like follow the river up to the source, up to the well. And it's the essence, the purity, the simplicity, and just the practice as such works for me so well because it is simple. There is not a lot of ritual or noise or interruption. What I experience as interruption, it works perfectly well for me to just like sit still and to walk peacefully. So it really works. And I'm extremely grateful. The other practices I did work during that time of my life, and I'm grateful for everything I could practice and I encounter. But this is so beautiful.
That's
I'm
good.
very grateful.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
And the other thing is about the Vassa retreat this year, that this was also a beautiful gift. I can practice practically every day because it is a very good foundation to observe oneself and to see, like, where am I with all the different virtues, and to just like look at things and put it back into perspective.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, those paramita, those qualities, virtues, they're really, really practical and skillful and applicable. They, beyond meditation, beyond a retreat environment, they're what we use for interfacing life in any situation, and using them in any situation, they develop, they get stronger, and so they become a really helpful way of being, and certainly to be able to remember what they are and to use them, and in themselves they become like a practice. You could even say, my practice is practicing developing the paramita, those spiritual virtues, because they ultimately help to make life easier rather than interfacing from the opposite of them. And they help to then settle the mind for meditation. So they're perfect as practice, and often they're interpreted often as the perfections, spiritual perfections or paramita virtues. So really, really good things to be able to apply. Interestingly, this is the Vassa retreat from 2024. So it was looking into early Buddhism and particularly meditation. But the Vassa retreat this year, a bit more to do with those wisdom virtues that we can engage based upon developing the meditation. So the stronger the meditation, the calmer, the clearer the mind, the greater the ability to apply then the spiritual virtues. I'm open to suggestions for the next Vassa retreat. Ongoing learning.
Yes, I would just like to say that I feel I don't want to add much, but I feel very similar to that. I've experienced different sorts of Buddhism, and this feels like outcome.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm sorry, it's my only Vassa retreat this year. But it's a wonderful reminder for me. This year was, I was very slack with meditation. Daily life took over, and whatever happens in life. But today I feel very grateful for the reminder.
Good, good. So it's making meditation daily life.
Yeah.
So it's not sort of extra or outside of daily life. Daily life involves meditation, ideally everyday meditation, doing the meditation, and then having that flow into whatever we're doing. So sitting, walking, standing, lying down, we're using the qualities of meditation, that mindfulness and awareness and presence of mind, as well as other qualities as well. Even with the samadhi as concentration, lots of things that we do require focus, attention, concentration. So that also helps then in terms of what we're doing, but also it helps then when we come to sit meditation. It's like, well, I've been focusing all day on the computer or reading or whatever I've been doing, focusing, and now I'm going to focus on my breath. So it flows on.
Just to say the same thing, I found myself today really appreciating the space that you hold very calmly and kindly for us all.
Good, thank you. Yeah, well, I really enjoy being able to share the space. Hannah and I, since we've certainly lived here, we've had this space to share with people. Before we did this room up, we would meet in the living room, so it's more convenient now to have a designated space. And our dog can be in that part of the house rather than wandering around smelling people. But even when we were in Sydney, in fact, since Hannah and I have been together since 1994, we've always had our place open for meditation groups, so weekly meditation groups, and I also run courses from our house as well. And in time, I then had like a large meditation space, meditation center where I also worked from as well. So we would have the classes, courses, and sort of group sessions there. But even still had a morning session in our home, in our apartment. So moving up here, it's been great to be able to have a bit more space outside for walking meditation as well. So
Understatement.
So a good place for being able to share with people, and also, it motivates myself as well in terms of people's interests, practicing meditation. It's difficult if you're just doing it alone. You don't have a sangha or a group to connect with. So and also those that have been connecting with us through the year, many people couldn't make it today for various reasons, but a sense of like a community, a sangha that's supporting each other in our practice. And even the more you do your own practice, that also is supporting others. So when you come to the group Thursday night or a Sunday, it's like you're bringing your resonance, your energy, your presence, your groundedness from your home practice as well. So it flows on and shares. Paul?
I just really like this format of a Sunday morning gathering, and I wonder if that's something you're maybe considering rather than a whole day.
Sure, yeah.
Weekend.
Yeah,
in terms of maybe more people can come and do a morning than can come to do a whole day, and you'll have the same impact and same benefit for everybody.
Which we have done, so that with the 3-month Vassa retreat period from July through until October, we have 4 sessions. So we had those as half days, and I think people find that more available to them than say a whole day that can be a bit consuming. People's lives are getting busier and having to spend time with family or grandchildren, so that a half day can be more manageable. And even as we've done today, we've had 2 hours straight of meditation. That's a good block of time to then be able to go, okay, that empowers me for carrying on. And also shows you what you can do as well at home. You might go, okay, well, maybe a chance to do a good block of meditation, particularly if you have a partner. Do it with a partner as well, and keep the practice going.
Yeah, I know there's a benefit to extend that practice, but it seems like if you commit it only for a morning, then you can commit to a deeper attention.
Sure.
Because you know, and then your mind wanders in the afternoon, and it's perhaps things like that.
Yeah.
Just make it more concentrated.
Ideally, it's quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
So that becomes the emphasis. Well, thank you for sharing. Let's do a short dedication of merit meditation. So settling into our mindful meditative mode for the last few minutes. Our eyes gently closed, bringing awareness within. Having some relaxing, letting go breaths, settling into this calm, conscious knowing. And feeling good in ourselves for what we've done. So using some thought to create a feeling of inner joy, well-being, appreciative joy at what we've done this morning, practicing meditation as a shared experience, cultivating the clarity and quality of the mind-heart, Chitta Bhavana, cultivation of the mind-heart, developing a collectedness, Samadhi, enabling calm, Samatha, the possibility of some insights, Vipassana, leading to Panya, wisdom, as well as the heart quality of Metta, loving kindness, friendliness. So feeling good within ourself, within our being, generating wholesome karma, merit, the Buddhist word punya, merit. And part of our dana is gifting that merit to others. So bringing to mind someone or a few people that we'd like to share that good energy merit with, partner, children, grandchildren, close friends, family members, someone that's close to us, bringing them to mind, and with the aspirational wish, may you receive this gift of goodness, good energy. May you be well, happy, free from pain, issue, illness, living your life well. Bringing to mind those persons, the person, radiating that good vibe energy out towards them. Breathing in, breathing out, an outgoing breath, carrying that good energy to that person or persons. Creating that positive connection. Gift of good energy, merit, well-being. And also extending that to everyone that's been part of our meditation this half day. Everyone here, our collective. Wishing everyone here well. May you all be well, happy, free from pain, issue, illness, living your life well. And breathing out this good vibe energy to others. And as we breathe in, we receive that good vibe feeling energy of everyone else. Breathing out, giving, breathing in, receiving. Sharing this aura of well-being. Giving and receiving, sharing, caring, enjoying this gift of well-being. May we all be well, happy, free from pain, issue, illness, living our life well. May our lives be a blessing to others. And then lastly, bringing ourself to mind, a wish or aspiration towards ourself, and may I too be well, happy, free from pain, issue, illness, living my life well. May my life be a blessing to others. So gifting this good energy also to ourselves, quality of metta, kindness, friendliness, support, appreciating our good efforts, wishing ourselves well. May I too be well, happy, free from pain, issue, illness, living my life well. May my life be a blessing to others. Breathing in, breathing out, feeling good within oneself, kindness, friendliness, support for ourselves. When you feel ready to end this brief meditation, just taking a deep breath and slowly opening our eyes to finish. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing. Certainly do keep up with your meditation over the busy end of year life period, it's sort of end of year period into the new year, so that we can maintain that clarity of mind and certainly develop a good start to the new year. The next meditation retreat day, probably sometime in February. I'll be putting out an email about that, so around sort of mid-February. And the meditation group resumes around, I think it's about the 18th of January. I mentioned that in the email I sent out last week. So thanks for coming, thanks for sharing, thanks for your dana, and feel free to take any books there that you find inspirational. Also, you've got the notes to sort of remind you of what we had a look at. And please share some food together. Those that can stay for a bit of lunch.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Good.